Hi, so I'm doing a video today because I wanted to show you how I'm going to tackle the next step of this dress that I'm making. So I've made the bodice and I've made the skirt and I've made the waistband piece, and what I now need to do is attach the waistband piece to the bodice at the top and to the skirt at the bottom, and then my dress is finished. Hurrah. However, it's a little bit tricky. I'm just going to zoom in so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is the waistband, and it's lovely, but it's a little bit tricky to sew onto the bodice and the skirt. It's comprised of two layers, a top layer and a lining, and they're sewn wrong sides together, and then there are channels sewn into it, 4 channels, through which you thread 3 pieces of elastic. So it gives you a really nice, strong waistband, but the problem with it is it's quite difficult to stretch the waistband to fit the bodice and the skirt, because the waistband is smaller than the bodice and the skirt are. And you do get quite tired arms after a while trying to stretch it out, and it's just difficult to make sure you're evenly stretching the waistband around the whole of the bodice and the whole of the skirt. So I'm going to show you a handy little gadget that I use now called the Wayliner, that does all the hard work for you. So this is the Wayliner. If you've seen my videos, you might have seen me use this before. It's a really handy gadget that's come from kind of factories, really. But your sewing machine or your overlocker sits on the base here, and then the garment that you're making comes around this side, and there are rollers, these 2 blue rollers and these 2 silver rollers at the bottom. And you can manipulate the arms by moving the handles, so you can have them further away or closer in. You can move them further down, further up. So you've got quite a lot of manipulatability, is that a word? I don't know, with these handles. And I'm going to show you how I use it to attach the waistband to the dress. Okay, so I'm about to put my waistband onto the Wayliner, and I'm just going to show you how I get it set up. So I'm going to have to stretch this out quite a bit, which means I'm going to need kind of the maximum stretch from the Wayliner. So the first thing I'm going to do is use this sliding bar here, and I'm going to move this handle all the way to the end of it. So if I turn it around, you can see what we're doing. So this handle I'm going to release. I'm going to slide the bar all the way over, and then I'm going to refasten that handle. Then I can get even more stretch with, if I just get this one out of the way, even more stretch with this handle. If I undo this one, then that can come all the way out to there, or I can get less stretch by bringing it in. So you have quite a lot of manoeuvrability here. Now I probably don't need quite that much stretch. I'm going to put it somewhere in the middle. Yeah, I'm going to turn it back round again. And then I'm going to put my waistband on. So this is the waistband, and I have marked, hopefully you can see in the light there, that I've got a seam. That's the seam for the waistband, and I've put a clip there so I can easily identify that seam when I need it in a second. So that just slides on over all 4 of the rollers, so these 2 silver ones and the 2 blue ones. And then you take your bodice. Now I've turned my bodice inside out, and I've marked a side seam with a clip, because what I want is for the seam on the waistband to match one of the side seams on my bodice. So then you take the bodice, and that goes underneath like that, up and over, and then I need to extend this arm by pulling it out like that, and that's now extended. And then I can take my bodice and bring that over the top. Now I've still got a bit of ease here in the bodice, so I'm going to have to extend this back arm a little bit more. So let me come around the other side. I'm going to use this, and I'm going to extend that back out that way, like that. So if I turn it around for you, and you see what we've done. So I've extended this arm by pulling this out along here and then angling this so it's further away, and I've extended this arm by angling that way. Yeah, and now my waistband fits my bodice. So here's my Wayliner, and now I'm going to put my overlocker inside. So I'm going to lift the overlocker up and pop it in to the bed of the Wayliner like that. And now we just need to get it set up ready to go. So we're over at the machine now. I'm going to lift my presser foot and I'm going to just slide those layers of fabric underneath the presser foot. And then when I'm all lined up, that one doesn't want to go underneath. Let's try that again. There we go. Then you lower the presser foot down. Now these two clips were the ones that I marked at the beginning. So that's the seam on my waistband and that's the side seam on my bodice. So I'm just going to clip those together so that my side seam on my bodice and my side seam on my waistband match up. And then literally all you do is you start sewing. The rollers on the Wayliner move the fabric for you and you just sew around. And that's it. The rollers move the fabric for you and the feed dogs on the machine move it through. So all you've got to do is just sew around. You haven't got to stretch the waistband, it's all done for you. Honestly, really easy. So now I'm all the way back round to my beginning. There we go. And then to finish off, I'm going to release this handle to release the front. And then pop that off and you just overlock straight off. And there we go. All done. Nice and easy. If I can get to my snips. And that is my bodice with my waistband attached. And now I've just got to do the same for the skirt. So now I've got my bodice right sides out with my waistband attached to the bottom of it. And I've clipped the centre front of my bodice, the bottom of the placket, and I've also put a clip on the two side seams as well, just because I want them to align with the side seams of my skirt. I've also put a clip on the centre front of my skirt. My skirt is inside out. Then all I'm going to do is post my bodice inside my skirt, and I'm going to match those two together. Come around to the side and match the side seam, come around to the other side and match the other side seam. And that's all you've got to do. And then we'll take this back over to the Wayliner, which will stretch it out, and then we can sew that on. So then in exactly the same way as before, we slide it over the rollers, bring up over the front blue roller, and then we just pull here to extend it out and then bring it under the foot and sew around. Make sure everything's okay and then go. And that's it, just like before, you just go the whole way around. Bring the handle in, take it off the front rollers and then overlock off. There we go. All done. So there we go, my dress is all done. There's my waistband, whoop, whoop, whoop. And it's all thanks to the Wayliner. See you soon, bye.